God was so good to me. I'm very spiritual young lady. I have faith in faith, right? So God was always telling me, you gotta go, you gotta go. But I was being hard headed. So I'm gonna be able to grasp it. First time, my first warning was, and he said shot. And that was it.
You know, it's a lot of window in here.
There's a lot of window. That's what I wanted though. That was a part of my vision. So not a natural lady. You know, I'm a plant lady.
I see. It's a lot of greenery in here.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I love the space. So
thank you.
Yeah, let's get started.
Okay.
Coach Sam here, Fun and Vibes Podcast. You know the vibes, guys. Equipment Lease Co., Director of Partnerships. I'm here with Kaswana Powell, New Yorker, new to the ATL,
right?
Entrepreneur, author, mother.
Come on.
I mean, and the hat is crazy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank
I love
you.
that. As soon as I saw the hat, I felt the energy.
Oh, word? It was good?
Good energy.
Okay, great.
Good energy.
Great.
So yeah, man, welcome to the show, guys. Have a great guest today. Kaswana K.
K. Make it easier.
Make it easier.
Right.
K, she's here to share with us her journey and how she started.
Pen to paper your magic.
Pen to paper your magic.
I never knew the meaning of blood, sweat, and tears until I opened up Pen to paper your magic. Because my blood, sweat, and tears is in this place.
Wow.
My floors I did, my painting I did. Like, this is everything from the heart. Like, I envision.
Yeah. So you came in here and just did the damn
one time. Just get it over with.
Yeah.
Got it out the way.
That's what's up. So let's get started. We're in Gwinnett County. We're in Atlanta, suburb of Atlanta. This is Snellville?
Snellville.
Okay. So for people who don't know, can you kind of give us an idea of where that's located in Atlanta?
Okay, like I'm new to Atlanta. Like I've been here for like a year and a half. And this is, I think it's South Gwinnett. Mm-hmm. South Gwinnett County is the name of the county, but the part of Gwinnett I'm in is Snellville on the north side. Yeah, and this is like my home. I came here with a mission, on a mission. I left New York back in 2021. I don't even know where to begin with that. Like, coming here was like a journey. Yeah. I started writing back in 2014. 2014 has been like 10 years since my kid's father passed. And normally I'll be depressed coming up to the anniversary. So that particular year, instead of crying, I started writing. I started journaling. Okay. And I was journaling one night because my daughter came into the room and she was crying because, it was another year passed, and it happened on her birthday.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So the tragedy happened on my daughter's birthday. So this year she came in my room, she was crying. And instead of me writing, long story short, instead of me crying with her, I found my therapy in writing.
That's a strong mother. Strong. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's how it started. With my first book, it was called Raw Poetry, Do Judge Me Society.
Okay, so let's start all the way at the beginning.
Okay.
And then we'll get back to that point, because that's very important, and I definitely can relate to tragedy and how that can happen within a family. So definitely want to get into that. But let's learn about you.
Oh,
how this happened. So New York, born and raised in New York.
Born and raised,
Brooklyn, baby.
Brooklyn.
So
with the Kims and the Biggies.
Okay, so I was gonna say you Biggie and Jay, but you say Rakim, so you.
No, I said with the Kim, with the little Kims and the
little
Biggies.
Kim, yeah.
Oh my God, well I'm both.
Okay.
I'm both. I'm Biggie and I'm Jay. There's two different hustles with the same mission.
With the same mission.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we are. We hustle. You have to. But the hustle part is something that's embedded.
Right.
Like I'm gonna always be a hustler. I don't know how to be nothing else.
Right.
I was tired of the fast pace.
Okay.
Like I wanted to slow my hustle down. Like I felt like I already like hustle for I could make a name. Everybody know who I am. Now I just wanna like soft life is what they call it now.
Yeah. So bring the hustle with you. So did you have a job before you decided to become full-time entrepreneur? How did that manifest? Or have you just always been, a serial entrepreneur?
No. I had a job because I had my babies young. Well, no, I'm about to lie. I had my baby at 16. My first child, I was 15, turning 16 in a couple of months. So I didn't have no job. I was too young to work. I was too young. So that's when my hustling started. Another little back history of me. My mother was a stay-home hustler's wife. My dad was a well-known hustler in New York City. So when I had my baby, so that's why I said it was always in me. So when I had my baby at 16, I was too young to work, so I used to hustle.
Okay.
I used to do stuff to make sure that she was good.
I got you.
And then when I was turned 21, I had my son. And I had to hustle a little harder to make sure that they were good because their father died by the time she was 2 and he was 6. No, he was 6, I'm sorry. She was 6 and he was 2. It happened on her birthday. The day she turned 6, he died. Right. So my hustle was turned up to a 10. I didn't have nobody to rely on. My mother and father was there, but I felt like these are mine. That's when my hustling began.
I got you.
Some would call it negative, but like Vicky said, I was just trying to get money to feed my daughter.
Hey, she's saying, hey, look, we ain't gotta be square on this show,
okay,
right?
Good.
We ain't gotta be square. You can shoot it straight off the hip, be real with it.
Right.
Because there's many people who have the same story as you, no matter where we located in the country, right? So, you hustling, doing what you do, and then what happened? Kind of, did you transition out of, the street game?
It took a little while for me to transition. Right after my kid's father passed away, my mother passed away.
Oh, man.
So I really ain't had nobody. Then my father got locked up for, drugs, and he got deported. So I ain't really I had no cushion after that. So I had to switch up. I had to do something. That's when I started working and I got into the medical field.
Okay.
Like I'm a lab technician. So I got into the medical field I was probably like early 20s, like 23 or 24. But I was still hustling because that wasn't enough. I was already used to a certain lifestyle. So that wasn't enough. So I still had to do what I had to do. But when all of that death and all of that stuff started happening, I had to change my way of thinking. And that's when I said, no, okay, you're a mom. You got to do this full time. You ain't got no grandmas. You ain't got no granddad. You ain't got no father. So you got to do this. You got to do it right. And then that's when I started maturing and was in a job. And, but I was still dealing with people and situations that was connected to the street. So, yeah.
Okay. So you got you a job, 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yes.
Which is not always a bad thing. You gotta have your ears to the streets.
Right.
At all times. That's what I believe.
Me too.
Because we're all connected in certain ways. The streets and the corporate world. It's a parallel.
It sure is. It sure is.
Some of the things that happen when we learn it on the streets and you can relate, vice versa, whatever. So how was being a lab technician?
I just always wanted something that you know how people say you gotta make sure you secure the bag. My securing the bag was making sure I had something to fall on. Like no matter what, I know I can always get a job in the medical field. So I made sure I secured that career part of everything. It's cool because I'm a caretaker at heart. And I love taking care of people and I love making sure people are good. So that's a part of my path. So it's cool. It's something that I don't mind doing now.
Okay. What was the biggest thing you learned from that experience?
What, for me doing lab technician? The people I encountered, the patients, they were lonely. And although I was surrounded with people, I was still lonely. So I was able to relate as far as isolation. So I learned it's okay to isolate yourself, but sometimes, it's also okay to say hello and check up on and make sure that you're good and your loved ones are good. So I learned a lot of compassion from working in the medical field.
Okay. What is the thing that made you say, I'm tired of this shit. I want to really spread my wings. Were you a lab tech all the way up until you decided to move to Georgia?
I was.
Okay.
And it was so crazy because right before I moved to Georgia, because it's so hard for me to tell my story without being judged. And I don't want to tell my story and leave parts out because that's not really who I am. But what pushed me, because God was talking to me, I'm a very spiritual young lady. I have faith in faith, right? So God was always telling me, you gotta go, you gotta go. But I was being hard-headed. So I'm gonna be a little graphic. First time, my first warning was, and he sent shots. He didn't send like, he sent. So the first one that I got was, they shot up my car trying to kill my son.
Oh, wow.
And I still ignored him. I still pushed through. I still did stuff. And then, because I put on a lot of events for kids, so I had a big Easter event coming up right before I moved. Well, I didn't know I was moving. I had a big Easter event coming up, and I was, me and my partner at the time, we was getting everything together. Everything was going. I'm still ignoring. My car just got shut up, and I'm just pushing. So a couple of days before the Easter event, I'm gonna say like a month before the Easter event, my house got shut up.
Wow.
32 times. Like,
wow.
Yes. And it was me and my little one in the house. My big kids was outside because I got a 21-year-old and a 25-year-old. And that was it for me.
Absolutely.
Like, that was it. Like, I couldn't be hard-headed anymore. Like, girl. So, I got fired from my job.
He got like,
yeah, he was like, bang. So I said, okay, that's it. I hate you. I'm out of here. So I left New York, and on my way from New York to Georgia, I get a phone call from a random number. I don't know the number. And they was like, hi, this is Kaswana. This is whoever. I'm calling from a plasma center. I was wondering if you're still looking for a job. I wasn't even here. Mm-hmm. I'm like, looking for a job? Where is this located? And she was like, in Kennesaw, Georgia. I'm like, what? What? I didn't apply for no job. I'm like, how?
They just found you.
They found me. That's God.
God found you. Come on now.
Come on. So that wasn't the blessing. So now that was a blessing. So I'm like, oh, I got a job. I need to get there. I'm meant to be here. And my son, mind you, my big kids is furious. They crying. They mad. Like, how you going to Georgia with no plan? You just up and leaving. I'm like, I gotta go. Country. You moving us? Yeah, where you moving us to? These city kids.
Right.
So I'm driving up the highway. Mind you, I got a new house. I got a big house. I never saw it. I never saw my house because that's when COVID was going on. So it was a bunch of virtual everything. So I just said, God, I just need a peaceful environment. I just want to be in a subdivision. I just want enough room for my children. I want a decent school for my kids to go to. And I just want my son to be at peace. I just want my son to be at peace. So I'm driving here. I'm passing the same highway. And I'm like, oh, okay, we can decorate. I got Lowe's, I got Home Goods, I got this, I got that. I can decorate my house. Okay, it's close to the house. And within 4 months of me getting here, I'm right here on the same strip that I was bragging about and loving and wanting. And my store's on the same strip.
That's a beautiful story. Don't hold that story back from nobody, because that's an inspiration.
Yo, it was so crazy.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
God definitely bless you.
He has, and he's continuing. I don't take for granted for nothing. I don't take for granted nothing. He's continuing to bless me because he already know he had to drag me out the mud. Yeah,
yeah. And I mean, you here, you flourishing, family good.
Family good, son safe, daughter safe.
Enjoying the good life, the good weather.
The amazing weather.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And I'm real good about calling my people up in Chicago in November. And it's like 80 degrees and I'm barbecuing.
And they be like, hey, please, you just left. I'm like, why you got a coat on?
Yeah.
You're like, because we're in New York still. I'm like, oh, yeah. Sorry.
Real good about that.
Real good.
And then the crazy thing is, don't nobody want to leave. You know, my hometown, like Chicago, like, everybody say they're going to leave, they're going to come, and they don't come.
Because a lot of people have foreseeable faith that they have to see to believe. And some of us walk by sight. Don't walk by sight.
Yeah.
Leap or jump, and we'll figure it out when I get there.
That's right.
Because I believe that God got me. So they believe that God got them. They should be able to.
Absolutely. Oh man, that's a beautiful story. So now we're in Georgia. How long did it take you before you started to manifest your vision as far as this beautiful facility, being an author? Let's get into that.
Oh, well. Manifesting has been a process. I started Pen to Paper Magic in 2018 in New York. And right when I started it, COVID happened. So it shut everything down. But I still believed in what I saw. Like, you got to still believe in what you see, no matter the distraction.
Right.
And I still saw my store. I still saw a bunch of windows. I still saw open space. And I used to rent people's spots out. I thought that was the vision that I saw. Like, me renting the spots, and I'm like, okay, got the windows. This must be it. But then COVID shut everything down. So I still needed, my kids still needed, oh wait, let me back up and tell you why I started Pen to Paper Your Magic. I had my daughter Pumpkin in 2016. And I wanted to take her, and I wanted to experience her like I haven't experienced my big kids because I was a child. We grew up together. So I would have to take her to other neighborhoods in order for her to experience arts and plays and books, because they took the stuff out of our schools. So I wasn't able to show her it in my community. So I would have to take her outside, drive hours for her to experience arts.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's why I stole their ideas and I brought it to my community. Like, our kids deserve to see this too. Our kids deserve to have this in their neighborhoods. So I just brought it to my neighborhood. Parents were able to drop their kids off, and then COVID happened. Everything got shut down, but they still wanted their kids to come. So I started painting in the park. And I would go to different neighborhoods, different parks in the neighborhoods, and set up, and people would just come. And people was coming, so I was able to see success, but I wasn't supposed to be there. I was still ignoring my call.
You weren't supposed to be in New York.
I wasn't supposed to be in New York.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, how you making me see all of this and making me see that it could happen, but you also showing me this? What am I supposed to do?
You like, take it somewhere else.
You got to take it somewhere else. And that's what I had to do. I had to take it somewhere else so I'll be able to freely do what needs to be done.
And Atlanta is a melting pot of success as it relates to African Americans, blacks, seeing success. There's a ton of business owners here. That's what brought me here 11 years ago, and I haven't left because this is one of the best places to do business.
I'm telling you.
As a black person. So talk about your experience in being in Atlanta and how it's helped you bring this to life.
Oh my God. When I say Atlanta has been a blessing, Atlanta was weird to me in the beginning because I'm not used to the niceness. I'm not used to no, I don't know, but I know somebody who knows. No, I can't help you, but I know somebody that can help you. Yes. And I'm just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like what I need, is no, I don't have to do anything extra for you to help me. It's just and I don't have to worry about you talking about it bad. Like, oh, I helped her. And Atlanta made me feel like at home. Even though I'm born and raised, I'm a New Yorker for life. I'm gonna be a New Yorker forever. But I felt like I had to, I'm here, and I was being overlooked. And even though I am who I am in New York City, don't get it twisted, I was still fighting for a spot like that. It was too much stuff I had to go through. And I came to Georgia and it was just like, it's that easy? Like, I don't really have to do all of that? Like, I'm already 10 steps ahead of the game and I ain't been here that long. I wouldn't have been this far in New York, I promise you that. I promise you that. It's too much red tape. It's too much stuff you got to go through. There's too much people. It's too much. Well, where I'm from, I'm not gonna speak on the whole New York. The part of New York where I'm from, where I was raised, and it's too much. It was too much competition. It was too much. It was just too much. Yeah. New York is too much for me.
Nice. So you get to Atlanta, you work, you hustle, you get some money up, you get this spot. Mm-hmm. And this is beautiful. So are you an artist by trade? Did you do art as a hobby?
None of that.
How'd you get started? Are you just a lover of art?
None of that.
Like myself, my wife's an artist.
Yeah, lucky her. I don't know.
Lick.
It just started. I just wanted to just write a book.
Really? Okay.
I didn't think of none of this. Like, I didn't see none of this. Only thing I saw was, I'm gonna write books. I'm gonna write children's books, and I'm gonna sell them. And that was just it.
Okay.
But my daughter came, and I've seen all of this stuff in her.
Okay.
And I wanted to like zoom in on it. I wanted to put a magnifying glass on it.
Wow.
So that's why I didn't see none of this. When all of those paintings, they can't see, but all of them paintings on the wall, that's hers. Like that's what she did when she was 2 years old. So that's what made me say, okay, my nieces and nephews, let me let them do this. Let me show my neighbors that their kids could do this. Man. So I didn't see it. It was because of Pumpkin. It was because of Maya Rain. Is why. Yeah, I didn't see none of this. I just saw it in her, and I developed it around her.
So you were inspired by your daughter, but you also had that in you as well, or how to talk about becoming an author in that process.
Another secret of mine is, and I never said it like out loud. People who know me know, well, not all, my family knows, and people I could trust know, that I'm dyslexic. Wow. So writing for me was just school, period. I ain't want nothing to do with it. I didn't finish high school, but I went back and got my GED and my degrees because I didn't want my kids to grow up and say, well, you didn't do it. So I went back to do that. But as an adolescent and all that, I ran away from that. I shunned away from that because I didn't know it. I didn't know if I was going to spell this properly. But I also didn't know that it's okay. I had nobody to tell me, like, it will be okay. Like, you don't have to. Somebody else will do it. Like, all you have to do is just create a vision and make it plain. So no, I didn't think about becoming no writer. I just turned my pain into purpose. Like, I just couldn't cry with her that day. Like, I didn't want to. I was fighting depression. So I was just writing instead of crying. I just didn't want to cry. Wow. And I didn't realize that by me writing, scrabble what I thought, because I was writing in the dark. I was wiping away her tears. I was like, oh no, it's going to be okay. But I was also like this. So to stage how it was, she was laying on my lap, and I have a little desk by the side of my bed. And I was doing journalism at that time, like a class, an English 101 class. And I had to write in a journal every day. So when she was crying, I was just going, let's write. And my first poem, which I didn't even know I was a poet, it's so crazy. It's called Tears. And it was based on that night. Wow. And my teacher from college, he the one who said, Kaswana, because we had 10 o'clock at night. It was like, Kaswana, why you ain't tell me you was a poet?
You like, what?
I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I'm not a poet. He was like, this whole book is a book of poems. I'm like, that whole book is my day-to-day. Wow. Yeah, so when he said that, when I was finished the book, I had what they call epiphany. So I'm like, oh, I finished my book. And I'm like, I finished my book. And I just published my first book is my journal. I just published my journal.
Nice. And what you said, Tears?
Tears is the very first poem.
What's the name of the book?
Raw Poetry. Do Judge Me Society.
Oh, wow.
It's like a reversal thing. Like, when you read this book, you're like, oh, KK. But I'm like, judge me in hopes that they'll reflect.
Absolutely.
Before they judge.
And I tell this to people all the time. You never know who's going through what.
Yes.
And your story can be inspiration to the next person. So definitely get it out. And so you got the poem, but you said you got a children's book.
I got two.
What was the name of your first children's book?
My first children's book was called A Scavenger Hunt to Barbara P.
Really?
And it was so crazy because I have mentors in New York. Mr. Johnson and Mr. C. I love them. And Mr. Johnson called me one day and he was like, because they push my buttons. You could do it without saying you could do it. They'll text me because they know I'm like, I dare you to say I can't do it. That's my mentality. Like, what you talking about? So he was like, hey, Swan, he said, Kay, I dare you to write a book about a single mom trying to take her son to get a haircut. I'm like, I don't take my son to get a haircut. Like, my son takes himself to get a haircut. Like, he's independent like that. I'm like, I don't have that experience. I don't do that. I never, yeah. But you could, though. I'm like, you know what, you're right. And I wrote in like 45 minutes.
Really?
You can see it's like A Scavenger Hunt to Barbara P. It's on the top.
Okay.
Right by Black Panther.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So that's my first one right there. And it got my block up from East 55th in Brooklyn.
Okay, shout out East 55th.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then I self-published that, and then I wrote Pumpkin Picking with Pumpkin is in the middle of the shelf on the top.
Okay.
And that book, I took Pumpkin Picking, and I took pictures of it. I took pictures of her interacting with the animals and blah, blah, blah. And I just wrote to every picture.
Wow.
And I don't make my job hard.
Yeah. It's simple.
No, I keep everything simple.
But it's powerful, though.
But it's so powerful, though.
Yeah.
It's so powerful. And then, I was making sales here and there in New York. And I come to Georgia. And I link up. I tell you, the links up in Georgia is so powerful.
Oh, yeah.
What?
And we plugged in. We got plugged in on Facebook. And
y'all the real plugs up. That's so
real
crazy.
Quick. Yeah.
And we're here. Less than like 2 weeks.
Less than 2 weeks. No, we ain't got no time to be playing no games.
That's what I noticed.
We ain't got no time to be playing no games.
So within 2 weeks of coming to Georgia, right? Somebody said you should link up with your daughter's school. You should see what your daughter's school got going on and see how they could, help you out. I'm like, I know I tried this in New York. And they was like, no, we just like, in New York, it's just like, no. Because we just don't got time to even start coming up with this. And we still got to do this. So I'm like, all right, let's see if it'll work for Georgia. So I go to my daughter's school and I speak to a very special, beautiful lady. And I let her know what I do. And she showed me how to fill out all the paperwork that I would need to become a Gwinnett County third-party vendor. And now I am a third-party vendor for Gwinnett County schools. That's in Gwinnett County.
And it's the largest district in the state.
And it's the largest district. And not only that, next week, from Monday to the first week in March, they hired me. They bought over 400 books of my books for every child in it.
Oh, stop playing with
these people. Stop playing with these people.
Yeah.
And it's like and it's not only that. Like stuff is the ink ain't dry on certain things, but it's dried on that. That's why I didn't mention it. But I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I feel so blessed to be here. I feel so blessed to be. I'm so happy that I took the step, not knowing,
and just being able to get out there and just start. That's the biggest thing.
And so long, I've been a popular girl with no voice, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely.
Because I was too afraid to change for the people in New York, to the point where I said, F it. I am who I am now. And my past was like, she fake. That ain't who she is. And I did that girl dirty. That's why I can understand her feeling like that. Right. But when I reached out to apologize to her, she kept on reminding me of who I was and what I did. I told her, I'm sorry, like, I can't be there with you. I'm not that lady and that girl anymore. And I understand, but I apologize, but I can't keep on apologizing if you won't accept it, because I'm not her and I can't live there with you anymore.
Absolutely.
So a lot of people don't accept your change, but that's okay.
Shoot on right past.
That's one less person to worry about.
Yeah. And you did your part. You apologized.
Sincerely.
Yeah. And I mean, as we grow, we don't stay the same.
Then that's not growth.
At 35, you're not growing at all.
At all.
And you're going to be in the same place, same predicaments. So I take my hat off to you. That's great.
Thank you.
And so now we're published. Talk about that publishing process. Like, did you self-publish through Amazon? Did you hire a publishing agency? Let's start there.
The first book, like I said, it was Raw Poetry, Do Judge Me Society. And I was linked with this beautiful lady named Robin. And she helped me self-publish. And I'm going to just throw prices out there because I want people to know, like, if you are like I am. All right, boom. So she charged me $1,500 to complete the whole process, but she did everything. But I looked and I paid attention to what she did. And I asked questions about how you do that. And she was open to give me the answers that I'm paying you, so I want to know how this works. And she helped me through the process. We self-published through Amazon. No, we just print through Amazon. And everything is self-published through pen to paper. So she helped me with that. It cost me $1,500. So now here I go with scavenger hunt to Barbara Pete, and I used what she taught me, and I did my own little research. And I'm a hustler, so I got to find ways to cut the middleman out, and stuff I got. I learned from the streets. I got to figure it out. So that's what I did, and that book cost me $400.
Hey, cut your price.
You just gotta start chopping it.
That's how you get out. That's
the hustler in me. I'm like, okay, so wait, if I drop this and I stop this and I don't do that, it'll be.
So you the plug now.
Now I'm the plug.
Right. Okay. So you mentioned that you're not an artist, but you have beautiful illustrations on that book. How did you go about getting the illustrations done?
Because it's so crazy. It's so crazy how God send you people. When you figure it out, when you get it, when it click, when you find your purpose and it clicks, He starts sending you people.
Right.
So people was sending me stuff.
Yeah.
And this is my work, and this is what I do, and I'm from here, and I'm from there. My illustrator is SK. She's in Europe.
Wow.
Right. But I detailed. You have to be detailed.
So you prompted her. Something like that AI that's going on.
Yeah, like this is what I need. Yeah. This is what I want you to do. And every page, this is how I was detailed on every page. And she sent me stuff back and forth. And I loved it.
Did you send her pictures?
Only ones that I sent her pictures was pumpkin picking.
Okay.
Because I took pictures for that. Because I'm like, I don't want to do that again. I know once I've done something or experienced something, I'm gonna figure a way to make it easier for me. Right. It was a lot of thinking into scavenger hunt.
How do I do this shit?
I don't want to do it like this anymore. So I want to make it easier, even though I still got the details. But if I take a picture of it, only thing I gotta write is the words. Yeah. So that's what I did with pumpkin picking. I sent her actual pictures.
Okay.
And she just copied. She just illustrated the pictures.
Okay.
She made it for the book, and that's how it was.
Now, how much did she charge you for something like that?
Scavenger hunt was $400. Pen to paper. Pumpkin picking was $350.
For the illustration only.
Well, it was for illustration and editing. Yes.
$400 to write a book? Now let me ask you, have you made your money back?
Please. I made my money back the same day.
Went crazy.
And then it could have been bigger because I was still I was in New York, so I didn't have this I had a go-getting mentality, but it was going to get the wrong thing. Yeah. With this, I'm like, damn. Because I didn't know how they would receive me. Because I'm this hood girl. Yeah. I'm from the hood. I'm this hood girl. And I look 12. Yeah. So just I didn't know they was going to take me serious. So it could have went further, but I didn't know how to step into Kaswana yet. Right. I was still KK at the time.
KK. So talk about the publishing and the intellectual property part, because a lot of people don't understand how you could write something one time, you'll get paid off that book for the rest of your life.
Forever and ever, amen.
Forever and ever. Getting the copyright and trademarks, all that kind of stuff.
Well, that was easy. Everything, the copyright is 1, 2, 3. The trademark, you have to wait to make sure that nobody has. So yeah, it's a process, but it's a process that's worth it. You just go to your local, it's been so long, your copywriting office, or go online. It's just easy. Everything is at the tip of your fingers. Literally. If you're willing to put in the work, if you're willing to do the research, it's right there. It can happen. You can do it certain things you got to do through the city and through the government. But most of the stuff you can do yourself. You can buy the equipment. You can do it yourself. Right. I took the steps. I did the walking, I did the illustrating, I didn't do it. But I went through the process of those things. Now I know I don't have to. Once you learn it, you always have to learn it as a boss. You have to learn how things to circulate. So you have to do the footwork. You have to be the first one to experience how it goes from scratch. But once you get it, it's just okay, you start to delegate.
Right. Like as a boss should.
You should tell kids. You should sleep good at night.
Yeah.
Know that it's still gonna happen for you in the morning.
So you got any new projects as far as books coming out, looking forward that you could talk about?
Okay. I'm in the works of a series of books. So that's in the works. As far as pen to paper, I'm looking, and I have a couple of local Black authors doing book signings and stuff here. Like, I want to shelf them. I want my kids to come in my store. It's my store for my kids, and I want them to see us. So I'm looking for independent authors, Black children authors. I know there are a lot of Black authors that write books, period. But I want children books. I need to fill these walls up with my children's books, so when my kids come in here, they see us, and they won't be afraid to pick up a book and look and like, look at my mom, look at my dad. I remember that, because even when they read A Scavenger Hunt to Barbara P, although I didn't experience having to take my son to the barbershop, but mothers that did was like, girl, that's why I cut his hair.
Yeah, my wife takes my kids to get their haircut.
They gotta get it, because it started because he had a lot of hair. He never wanted it done. Mm-hmm. He didn't want no braids. He didn't want it to get washed. He complained about everything. So the trick was, because as a single mom, I know I had to trick my kids into doing a lot of things, but making them think like they won. Moms do that across the world. So that's what she did. She's like, all right, he don't want to get a haircut. I want to make it fun for him. So she took him on a scavenger hunt.
Nice.
And at the end, if he get the haircut, he get the treat.
Nice.
And that's what it was about.
Beautiful.
So I'm making a series with Kenny and Pumpkin.
Okay.
And the first book that's coming out this September, and that's when you're gonna meet Pumpkin. So they're gonna start exploring after that.
That's a big thing. Kindergarten is huge.
Kindergarten is huge.
Yeah.
Kindergarten is huge. And why I started Pen to Paper Your Magic, and why I want to do this for the kids, is because we gotta catch them from right here.
Oh yeah, you gotta get them.
We gotta get them from right here before them streets do it.
It's too much going on. Too much with the social media. Too many different forms of entertainment that can snatch them before they even have a chance. Especially when they get to middle school, it's a wrap. And if you don't have anybody to take you and show you something different, then you're right. Those streets gonna get you.
And that's how I had to go through what I had to go through, because nobody was there to be like, KK, stop. Like, you don't have to. And then my mother, by the time she was 25, she had 5 kids. I was the middle child, so it was just like I was lost.
Yeah.
And I found my identity outside.
Right.
But if somebody would have said, KK, come here. You don't got to do that. And I want to be that wing.
Right.
I want to be that wing for not only my children, but for children, because I know it takes a village.
Absolutely.
Only one teacher ever stopped me, and I was already pregnant, and I was in detention. So he caught me. I'm settled. I'm sitting down, and I'm pregnant. And he was like, if you don't read, I want you to read this book, because if you don't change, you're going to wind up like this girl in this book. So I read, that was the first book I've ever read. Remember, like I said, I'm scared of words. I'm scared of numbers. I'm scared of this stuff. So I'm like, the coldest winter ever.
Yeah.
And that was the first book I ever read.
Wow.
And it was so crazy. Me and Winter was the same thing.
Wow.
Like, our fathers was drug dealers. Our mothers was hustlers' wives. In jail, we had a house on Long Island. Like, parallel.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I will. Booster. Like, same hustle. Everything.
Yeah.
Dealing with the drug dealers.
Yeah.
Everything. I was just like Winter.
Wow.
And I'm like, he was like, I see this girl in you, and if you don't stop. And the only thing I escaped that she wasn't able to was jail. And I'm like, oh, I got kids. I
ain't going to jail.
I can do this.
Jail too expensive.
I gotta stop.
Yeah. Then you still keep in contact with him?
No, I don't know where he is.
Yeah.
I don't know where he is. Like, I don't know.
That's crazy, because school, being a teacher by trade, school is boring. I never thought I'd teach. It is boring. And if you don't, you have to find a way to cut through all of that.
That's why.
Get through to the kids. And I think they have to change school. I think it's outdated. I think it's obsolete. Nothing in there that they talking about in that classroom relates to nothing that's going on out there.
And this is what I learned with coming to Georgia, because my mind ain't cloudy. So I'm able to see things and observe things I didn't pay attention to, because I knew. But I didn't pay attention to the amount of children that they say have, I don't even like saying these words, autisms or delays and my whole thing is, no, they don't. You just teaching everybody the same way.
Same way, yeah.
And no one snowflake is the same. I couldn't learn like you, but I'm in a class and you teaching me like I could receive it like you.
Yep, that's exactly. It's a one size fit all.
It's a one. How do you expect that?
Yeah, and then they label kids special ed who aren't special ed. So now they're lazy and they make excuses for themselves before they even
give them a chance. One of my moms that come here, she has her son is what they say. I don't like saying. It's really hard for me.
They call it learning disability.
One of the kids,
which I think is,
a lot of teachers don't have the patience.
Yeah, that's another thing.
They don't have the. My teachers used to tell me that's why I didn't really care about school, because my teachers didn't care about me.
Yeah.
And they said stuff like, "I'm gonna get a check regardless." I'm like, then I'm not learning.
It's true.
But it's true. But you don't tell a child that.
You don't tell a child that, and then you're dealing with other people's kids who don't teach their kids how to act properly outside the house. So now it's more kids than ever in one classroom that's just going crazy, cutting up.
Because they don't have an outlet.
No
That's
structure.
another thing.
Yeah.
And then the no structure thing. I'm going to use me for an example. Like, I ain't really as growing up, I ain't really have structure, because if I did, I wouldn't have been a teen mom. I wouldn't have been in the streets. I wouldn't do what I did if I had structure. But me as a mom, I thought I had structure. I thought I had everything in order until my house started getting shot up, until my car started. But you don't know what your kids do outside. They could be one way inside.
Absolutely.
But you don't know what they're gonna do outside.
Yeah.
So I stopped putting blame on my mother.
Yeah.
Because I became a mother, and I'm like, oh, but my mother don't care. She's like, my mother ain't care. But no, she did, but you didn't care.
Yeah. At some point, you got to make a choice.
Some point, it got to be on you.
Yeah, especially if you're out doing what grown folks do. You got to take the grown folks' consequences.
You got to take the grown folks' consequences. And it was so crazy how life is, because and how kids are, and how the society, it's just weird. Because my son, and I like to give real life examples because I'm a real person. And I go through real life situations. And my son was so mad because he like, yo, why you leaving? Everybody saying you didn't do nothing.
Right.
You know, and this and I'm just,
sending them.
yeah, and I'm just like, Pumi, I'm saving you.
Right.
I don't care what they say, I'm saving you.
Right.
And the same person who told him that, the same young man who told him that, is no longer here. Because the same thing happened to his house, but he had nowhere to go.
He's just out there in the street.
He just had it's not even that, like circumstances.
Yeah.
Prevented him from his family from upping and leaving.
Yeah.
And the little bit that I had, I'm gonna save my son. I lost your father to this.
Right.
I'm not gonna lose you to this.
Right.
So I'm like, Pumi, you're here now.
Yeah.
You're here, and I got my son.
In Georgia, good weather.
Good weather. You can go ride your bike. Go ride your bike, brother. Yeah.
And be cool.
And be fine.
Be good to go. That's beautiful. So now we have this beautiful space. So how did this space come about?
The same person that linked you and I, Oli.
Yeah.
That's my girl.
Yeah.
I told her what I want. I told her my vision, and she made it happen. And she was like, I got this place for you. I think you'll like it. It fits what you say. Wow. And I went in, and it was like 9:30. And she was like, it's right there on Scenic Highway. I'm still not knowing Georgia, because I've only been here for 4 months at that time. So I don't know Georgia. So I'm like, all right, Scenic Highway. So I'm like, oh, it's like 14 minutes from me. I'm like, I'm gonna go right now. She's like, it's 10 o'clock. I'm like, I don't care. I'm gonna go right now.
I'm about to pull up.
I'm pulling up.
You threw it in the window, like
and that's exactly what I did. First of all, when I was driving here, I'm like, I know this ain't where it's at.
Like, right? Everything's right here.
This is where I saw it coming. This is where I was like, oh, I got the strip. I got the crazy strip. Oh, I got.
Yeah.
So I pull up and I'm like, I want it. Parked my car right there, and I was like, I want it. It's mine.
And you up top.
And I'm up top. I'm supposed to always be elevated, I feel.
All the time.
All the time. Elevate me, please, Lord. So I came up here and I peeked in. It was like green, dirty floors. It was a bunch of stuff on the wall. If you follow my Instagram, you'll see it from scratch. And I'm looking at it and I just started praying over it. I touched every wall, every window, every doorknob, the doorknobs. I touched everything. I touched the railings. I said, Father God, this is mine and I'm protecting it from now. I'm protecting it from now. I was not really qualified for it. I'm like, who said that? On paper, I wasn't qualified. Let me say that.
Right.
I wasn't qualified on paper for it. Wow. But I told my father that I wanted it. I said, Father, this is it. This is it. I see it. I got my open plan. I see it, Dad. I want it. And the next day, I texted her. I'm like, it's mine, girl. She was like, it is. She went, and when she was negotiating, they didn't hesitate. It didn't. Everything she said she wanted, she said, we're going to try for this. We might not get it, but we're going to try. I'm like, it's mine. Everything I want.
Wow.
I'm going to get it. And the next day, she said, you're going to accept it! And we was jumping, we was yelling, we was screaming. But what I didn't know was I had all of the extra space. Okay. Like all of the extra rooms and all of the extra. I didn't realize the extra. So not only did he give me what I wanted, he gave me extra.
Yeah.
My God is a God.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So talk about the day-to-day here.
Oh, the day-to-day is like you could walk in, you could come in, you could paint, your kids could play. I got bumper cars back there. I got STEM projects that they could put together. They could come in every day, Monday through Friday. I'm open from 12 to 7. I do after school care, so I pick kids up from school so they could come here. And parents can have a little break. If they get up a little late, their kids are safe. This is a safe place. The kids come. I help with homework, but I don't want them to leave school to come to school.
I got you.
It ain't a come from school to come to school. It's a let it out.
It's a release.
Yeah. Yes, let the energy out. Let it go. So that's what this is for. And I also have authors come in. I'm going to start doing a summer program this year because I want to explore. Like, I want them to learn the history while I'm learning the history of Georgia because the history is here. Like, this is where...
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of history.
The history.
Stone Mountains right here.
Yeah.
Area.
So while I'm teaching them, I'm also teaching myself. So it's just like, we all in this together.
All together.
Yeah.
Man, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So... beautiful space. I love it.
Thank you.
I wish I lived closer. I would bring my kids here.
Well, when we have an event, you can bring them.
Yeah, we definitely gonna have an event out here. Yeah. And definitely have my wife come. She loves this.
I want her to see if she can do my windows.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Okay.
We're gonna get you right.
Okay.
Beautiful space, author, and what I love about this whole entire thing is there's no excuses. I mean, you literally got it out the mud.
Literally.
And author, got a space, just thriving. You know, it's beautiful.
Because I just knew where I wasn't supposed to be for too long. Mm-hmm. And you have to know that. You have to know that where you at right now, if you don't want to be there, you don't have to.
That's absolutely true. And so, one thing that we do on this show is we asked the last person that I interviewed, mm-hmm. he was supposed to ask the next person that I interviewed a question. Okay. His question was, how do you get people in here? What are some of the ways and some of the things that you do? How do you market your books? He called it cold marketing. So cold marketing is essentially going to people that you don't know, going out and do you do flyers? Do you just go to schools and talk to people? How do you do it?
I do flyers. I do social media. I got Pen to Paper Your Magic _ on Instagram and Pen to Paper Your Magic on Facebook. So I do flyers. I do social media. I do word of mouth. Word of mouth works still.
My wife is the queen.
Word of mouth works still. And I reach out to a lot of single moms. I have other people that is so crazy. I have other people that be like, do you mind if I drop this in this mom group? Do you mind if I drop your thing in this mom group? So I have a lot of that. Like, a lot of mothers that come and be like, no, I don't know about this. I gotta let my friends know. Girl, I got mad friends. So it's just like, and then I'm homey.
Yeah.
So they feel like, So they feel like, oh, my kids will be, I'm dropping them off. And like when this one man, he called and he said, could you call my wife, please? My wife needs you right now, right? Out of nowhere. Wow. And I called the wife, and he was like, because my daughter is painting on the walls as we speak.
Wow, like literally.
Like literally. I can pull up the text. So I called the wife. I'm like, girl, where my niece at? I heard my niece is over there acting crazy. She's like, I'm bringing her to you. So it's like that type of vibe. I'm bringing her to you Saturday.
Extended family.
Yeah. So that's more like I am. Like, I'm like they aunt.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like your grandmother.
Yeah.
I want to be like your cool aunt. But you know not to play with her.
Don't play with me.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. It's like a lot of word of mouth. It's like a lot of vibes.
Yeah.
It's like energy. When I go to networking parties, it's like whoever gravitates to me. Because I'm still kind of shy. I'm still kind of new to this, like, going out there.
Yeah.
And whoever gravitates, and I be like, yo, you know, I got this. She's like, yo, I was looking for something like this.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm about to have a party for my daughter, and I need something. So it'd be like a lot of that.
So you could do parties in here. Do you have to do like daycare licenses or anything? Are you considered a daycare?
No.
No?
I'm not a daycare.
Okay.
I'm just a center where you can drop it. I don't want to do, I don't like to do things where I have to do a lot of things. Like, I don't want to have to go through all of what
That's
you
a lot of red tape with that daycare.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah.
But I know how to take care.
Yeah.
I know how to take care. Like the children that I do have, I let their mothers know. Like, I'm not educated. I don't have an educational background. Like, I don't have no teacher experience. I'm not a teacher.
Yeah.
But what I could do, I'm a mom, and what I could do is what I did for mine.
I can enrich these kids.
I can enrich these kids. Yes, I can.
Yeah.
I can teach them what school can't.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we need more than anything.
Yeah, I don't know what they do in school. I've been out of school for a very long time. And although my baby is in school, I still teach her.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, the thing what I do say about school is doing something, especially the younger, like the grammar school, the elementary school years, they need that. Mm-hmm. For sure. The reading, the writing,
they
all
need
that stuff. They need that.
They need that.
All the other stuff coming after that, yeah. But it develops discipline. Doing something that you don't want to do, but you got to do it anyway. Everybody got to go to school.
Sorry.
You got to go. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's boring, but you got to do it.
But I also see like a lot of people is pulling their kids out of traditional schools. Yeah, and that's another thing. And everybody say, like a couple of my people that grew up with me, and they be like, you talk like that? You talk like that to the parents? Like you when you go on interviews and stuff, when you go on meetings and stuff, you speak like this?
Yeah, it's real. I
said, how else? You want me to pretend to be something that I'm not? And then these people are trusting me with their children, and I'm not who I am? Like, yes, they receive me like this.
Yeah, and that is more genuine.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know how to be nothing else. Like, what am I supposed to be?
I went to a networking event last night, and everybody there was real, just pristine, cleaned up. HBCU. I went to HBCU. And that's kind of how they groom you to just be kind of real uptight and extra. But when I go to these professional networking events, everybody's getting it in.
Everybody.
It's not like that. You're doing business. Like, you don't have to be all, I mean, you look nice, but, you know, it's not like that. You be yourself and people receive you for who you are, and you'll get way further.
I'd rather be myself and you choose not to.
Right.
They're pretending, and I could have been myself.
The whole time.
Yeah. No, I'm not
doing
doing
game. So we don't play them type of
No, no.
I really enjoyed you, Kay.
Thank you.
This has been a treat.
Thank you.
And so what I want to do is I'm going to give you a task, asking them to the next person that I interview. So the floor is yours to ask them anything that you want, and then on the next interview, they're going to answer your question.
Oh my God, what would I ask the next the next interviewer? It's so hard. If you were standing or sitting in front of the old you, what would you tell him? Or what would you tell her?
Wow. That's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep.
I gotta talk to her a lot.
Okay, so hey, you got to tune in to the next one.
I will.
Answer.
I will,
so,
okay.
Thank you so much, Kay. Where can everybody find you?
You can find me on social media at Pen to Paper Your Magic _ Facebook, like I said, Pen to Paper Your Magic. Or you can come down to the store. Pen to Paper Your Magic is on Scenic Highway. The address is 1987. I love that number. I don't know why I like saying 1987. 1987 Scenic Highway, Suite 211.
Suite 211. Shit, 80s. You was back in the 80s.
Yeah, I'm an 80s baby. I'm 41.
Okay, you're 80s baby. Okay.
Yes,
I'm an 80s baby too.
Yes,
so cool. I ain't wanna date you. 80s baby.
80s
All right,
baby.
cool. Hey, look. That's what's up, 1987. Well, as y'all can see it, thank you for joining the Fun and Vibes podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I hope you enjoyed the vibes.
I did.
I enjoyed the vibes. Y'all know the vibes.